a part of that?
So it's very important that this was a civil case, not a
Right.
criminal case. This never reached the threshold where any criminal prosecutor wanted to bring this because they thought the evidence was so shoddy. But yes, the jurors got this wrong because they were all suffering from Trump derangement syndrome.
Really?
This was a New York City-based jury, and of
Who
course
picked the jury?
They were New York City-based.
Well, yeah, but who picked the jury?
Well,
Trump's lawyer.
Well, no, that's not true. They have input on
No,
the jury
that's how-
selection.
yeah,
But they get 3 strikes. Those strikes were used. The judge was hardly fair. Again, I'm happy to go into all the individual minutes, but let's use reason.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here on a new video. Today, we're going to check out college students can't stop bringing up fake news. Charlie Kirk shuts it down. This is going to be amazing, and let's check this video out with you guys. This is by according Charlie Kick because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
Who has a disagreement? Anybody? You have a Trump hat on, but yeah, you got a rainbow shirt. How about you? So, yeah, I'm kidding.
Billy String
No,
shirt.
I'm kidding.
But, okay.
I'm giving you a hard time. Thank you, and everyone please be respectful.
All right, Charlie, I have a question for you. So, as a Christian, how do you justify campaigning
go
for
again.
someone who was found civilly liable for sexual abuse?
Well, first of all, we as conservatives believe that that was like a Moscow show trial. It made no sense. How much about the trial do you know?
I've read some of the witness transcripts.
Yeah. So the main accuser is a woman by the name of
E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah, exactly. And she said the following: "A rape is sexy." She said that on air, right? She couldn't remember the time, the date, or the year that the incident happened. And even Anderson Cooper said this is not a credible witness that should be taken seriously. But let's pretend you're right, because I don't want to get too far into the details. But let's pretend that President Trump was guilty of sexual abuse. Is there any example of somebody in the Bible that was guilty of doing something bad that still was after God's own heart?
David.
This is the Bible Belt, but yes, the question is for you.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, well, David would be the most obvious. So how much do you know about the example of David and Bathsheba? Probably not a lot, right? So David one day woke up and he was in charge of the Israeli army. I believe it was Uriah, if I'm drawing from memory correctly, right? And Uriah was like the head infantry commander. Uriah had a wife, very beautiful by the name of Bathsheba. Bathsheba woke up one day and was very provocatively showering for all to see. And David lustfully said, "I want that." In fact, not only did he say, did he want that, he then commissioned Uriah to the front lines of a battle to then basically get Uriah killed. Basically saying, I'm going to kill your husband so that I could be with Bathsheba. He does that, he dies, he then weeps terribly, and God even draws him closer to him in this very, very difficult, mysterious story. A second example, of course, would be Samson. Samson is found in the book of Hebrews in the Hall of Faith. Samson lived such a colorful life that God came to him when he was in a prostitute's bed. But God called Samson for a purpose greater than his and used the jaw of a donkey to go kill, thousands of Philistines. What I'm getting at is we are all sinners that fall short of the glory of God, and God can use imperfect vessels for righteous and good causes, of which I think he used Donald Trump to help save the country.
Okay. So you said that. So you think the court case was a witch hunt?
Yes, I think that case was absolutely a witch hunt. And
were the jurors, specifically the ones who found Tim liable, were they part of that?
So it's very important that this was a civil case, not a
Right.
criminal case. This never reached the threshold where any criminal prosecutor wanted to bring this because they thought the evidence was so shoddy. But yes, the jurors got this wrong because they were all suffering from Trump derangement syndrome.
Really?
This was a New York City-based jury, and of
Who
course
picked the jury?
They were New York City-based.
Well, yeah, but who picked the jury?
Well,
Trump's lawyer.
Well, no, that's not true. They have input on the jury
that's how-
selection.
yeah,
But they get 3 strikes. Those strikes were used. The judge was hardly fair. Again, I'm happy to go into all the individual minutes, but let's use reason. Can I be a little provocative on this for a second, guys? Okay. And I'm gonna try to prove you wrong using a little provocation, and I'm gonna be politically incorrect. Is that okay? All right. Trigger warning. Okay. So let me understand this. Here is the world's wealthiest man. One of the world's wealthiest men, worth like $10 billion. He's got a show on the NBC Apprentice. He's literally married to a supermodel. He can have any woman on the world. And I'm supposed to believe at 2 p.m. in a Tiffany's store. He walks in and E. Jean Carroll, who is not exactly a supermodel, and risks his entire fortune, of which there is no accusation for 20 years, but he pops up and runs for the president, and all of a sudden she says, this guy me, even though I can't remember the day, the month, the year, 2 p.m. in a department store at Tiffany's while he was at the height of his career. I'm sorry, that's complete rubbish and political nonsense.
Well, so
Bullshit.
there was a law in New York up until 2022, sorry, before 2022, or during 2022, there was a law passed called the Abuser, I can't remember the name, Protection Act or something like that. And it removed the statute of limitation, which was 1 year for civil cases for abuse. So that's how she had to wait so long until 2022.
But she did not voice the accusation publicly till he ran for president, which she did in 2017, 2018. Second, the trial itself was financed by Democrat donors. Thirdly, this is such a superfluous conversation. He's president of the United States. He won. We won. The American people saw this and did not care. So maybe we could talk about issues that are happening right now, not some fake accusation from 30 years ago.
True. Here we go again. People who are Christians who come here to judge Donald Trump every single time. I don't know why people feel like they're perfect or who they have no stain in their whites every single time. Donald Trump is not fit to be president or is not a good man because he was an adulteress. He have divorced his wife. That does not mean he's not a good person. Someone's personal life and someone's political life is a totally different ball game. But at the same time, people tend to judge them because of their personal life. But respectfully, there is no one who is perfect. People who have personal life also have their own differences. You understand? So if you had to call different politicians in history, even up to now that is in parliament, their personal life is also bullshit like Donald Trump won. You understand? But you don't hear people calling them out and also embarrassing them because they are not subject of contention. Donald Trump is a face people want to talk about and make fun of and ridicule. That's why they're bringing him out in the forefront. You get? So I love actually brought out the example of David. You understand? David committed crimes or something terrible. But there's something called mercy. God forgive him. We as human, even Bible said, do not judge because you are not perfect to judge. You understand? You are not someone who's blameless. You are not someone who's without sin to be judging another person who has sin. You are all sinners. We are all sinners. You understand? So this student bringing up the rape case of that incident that happened. It makes no sense of that lady coming out to say such accusation, you understand, in such terms. Because you didn't come about this for a long time. You didn't file reports. You didn't say anything about it. You just kept it to yourself. Until the man wants to be your president, before you come out to say, he raped me. I've seen a lot of videos like this. You understand? A lot of people who talked about this, he raped me, he didn't mean this bad. Why haven't you come out saying this? Why now? That the guy or the person have massive attention towards him and you want to ridicule his name. Why didn't you say it since? So it to be dealt with. But no, you want to keep it to yourself. Then when the person wants to stand up, you want to pull him down. If you know the thing really hurts you that bad, you should have spoken out a long time ago. You understand? It's as simple as that. You should have spoken up a long time ago. Then why are you speaking now? So you get pity from people. It makes no sense. You can't even bring out the day, the month, neither the year. You just told us the time, 2 p.m. at a store. Who in the world is going to believe you with such story? You get? But at the same time, this student right here, his point of view or his question makes no sense to me because it's coming in a way or in a place of judging Donald Trump, which I detest a lot. I don't like people who come out to judge another person, even if it's not Donald Trump. Don't come and judge another person that the person is this or that, the person committed this crime or was this bad. As long as there's something called mercy, guys. God forgives everyone. No one is perfect. He's an adulteress. He divorced his wife. That does not make him a bad person. what made him a good president is that what he says for the country, he fulfills it. That is the most important thing right here. I love how Charlie handled him. It's a very beautiful video. I really enjoyed the entire conversation. The guy was actually like shocked, and his voice actually changed. I don't know if it was actually like tensed because of the crowd supporting Charlie, but at the same time, the entire conversation was actually beautiful to listen to. I love the dialogue. It was nice. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video as many as can. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Know how to do it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.